He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
G'day and welcome to Country Life. I'm Duncan Smith.
No mai whakarongo mai ki te Aotai Whenua. Lovely to have your company. I'm Sally Round. Today we meet some up-and-coming talent in the food and fibre sector.
We dip into the archives and head to a working dog sale in Ashburton.
And I'm taking you on the trail of some food scraps, from a retirement village dining room to a banana farm north of Auckland. It's a project aimed at keeping greenhouse gas-producing organic waste out of landfill and helping farmers at the same time.
But first, to a wrap of news from the Rural News Desk.
Nelson and Tasman communities are dealing with widespread damage to infrastructure, homes and farmland following flooding and heavy rainfall. They're in the grip of a second state of emergency in 2 weeks. The Insurance Council says there have been around 1,000 claims related to the first event, including damage to farm-related assets and infrastructure. The council says the more information that insurers and brokers can have from farmers and growers, the better for their case. Meanwhile, a Tasman sheep and beef farmer who lost dozens of hectares of land to the Motueka River hopes flood prevention work that was planned beforehand will still go ahead. Dion McGaveston says his 200-hectare sheep and beef farm near Tapawera is a mess. The river flooded 60 hectares and covered 20 in silt and debris.
The country's booming beef exports to Canada reached a new high in May, almost rivalling exports to the UK. Beef exports to Canada more than doubled compared to the same time last year, increasing 170% month on month. The Meat Industry Association says 5,700 tonnes of beef was exported to Canada in May at a value of $65 million. Chief Executive Surma Karapiva says Canadians may be favouring New Zealand meat over product from the United States.
I wouldn't be surprised that there is some displacement of products or some shifting of purchasing preferences. And it's great because, you know, part of the overall strategy for the industry is to diversify and to service as many markets as we can, to look for those high-value markets where we can extract the maximum value for a product.
Surma Karapiva says total red meat exports to Canada were $88 million, now just shy of the UK at $90 million. She says May was another strong month for overall exports, with a 6% increase year on year to $1.5 billion.
An insecticide primarily used to kill grass scrub has been banned from use in New Zealand, and farmers will have until the beginning of 2027 to stop using it. An immediate ban's been placed on the use of chlorpyrifos in public areas because of the risk to human health. The chemical's banned in the European Union and Canada, and its use is heavily restricted in Australia. Dr. Sean Priso of the Environmental Protection Authority says the agency had recently received new information about its dangers.
Chlorpyrifos has been linked to a variety of harmful effects in humans and in an environment. In particular, for humans, it can cause neurological issues and has been linked to developmental issues in children.
Dr. Sean Priso says if any farmers have chlorpyrifos in their sheds, which they need to get rid of, they should speak to a chemical disposal expert.
An elite bull is getting settled into his new surroundings in Wairarapa and is busy delivering his goods at the local breeding centre. The Oregon Angus stud near Masterton paid $161,000 for the prize bull, a national record. So, what made the new owner, Keith Higgins, reach so deeply into his back pocket?
Well, I hadn't seen him before the sale. The day of the sale was the first time I saw him. But just one of those bulls that hit you when you walk past the pen. Tremendous muscle, tremendous top line, phenomenal nature. Very structurally sound and correct when he walks, beautifully put together. So I had to think to myself, this bull might suit us, and he's very much to the mould of what our cattle are. And I think he will fit in very well with what we're doing at Oregon Angus.
Keith Higgins says the bull is named Tangiho Impact U418. That refers to the Tangiho Angus stud near Gisborne, where the fellow was raised.
An Australian mining company plans to go for gold, employing hundreds of people on the Central Otago sheep and beef farm it's buying. At a cost of $25 million, Santana Minerals purchased the 2,880-hectare Ardgour station near Taras to work 4 historic gold deposit sites. The company anticipates starting to mine early next year and plans to employ up to 400 people, working 12-hour shifts over the next 14 years. Santana's chief executive Damien Springs says stock will continue to be farmed on parts of the station, and after the project, the land will be reinstated with grasses, native trees and a lake.
Changing demographics in China is presenting new opportunities for New Zealand's pet food industry, although there's stiff competition from US and Canadian producers. Here's David Boyle of Primary Collaboration New Zealand, which helps Kiwi exporters navigate the China market.
Because the pet food market is growing on the back of the strong predilection of Chinese families to buy pets. Last year alone, actually, fun fact, but there were 11.5 million pets purchased in China and 9.5 million babies were born. The ratio of pets to children is now higher, which is a change in the whole demographic of China, and this is how companies need to look at China in terms of how things are changing.
And that's it for Rural News this week.
This is Country Life on RNZ National 101 FM.
It's fair to say that 2 farming-focused teenagers from North Canterbury will be feeling on top of the world at the moment. Last weekend, John Lundy and Harry Parish were awarded one of the country's top accolades for young people in the primary sector. Cosmo Kentish Barnes is with John's mum, Marita.
We're at Okuku at the foot of Mount Thomas, just in North Canterbury, on our farm. We have got, a bit of mud, but we've still got plenty of grass, green feed. We're just standing out here with some breeding stags. And then over in the distance we've got the hinds that are grazing on green feed at the moment.
Now, you just got back from a farming event in Southland with your son John and his friend Harry.
Yes.
Who are also with us. Tell me about that.
A fantastic whirlwind trip with John and Harry, who won the regional New Zealand Junior Young Farmers competition in March and have just competed in the grand finals in Invercargill and Practical Day in Winton on Friday.
And you were team manager, I hear.
Yes, just helped them. They've been very independent learners, but have just supported them and helped them navigate their way to a lot of practice and fencing and visiting people that have helped them a lot.
A big drive down to Invercargill from here.
A day trip, yes, each way, but worth the result.
Now, John, how old are you and what school do you go to?
So I'm 16 currently, and I'm in Year 12 at Rangiora High School at the moment.
Yes. And when did you first start competing in NZ Young Farmers events?
I competed in agri-kids when I was back in primary, and so I just sort of worked my way up, and me and Harry competed together in the Junior Young Farmers last year, and we just thought we'll try a bit of that this year, and we've done pretty well.
You've won?
Yep.
How did that feel?
Oh, bloody good.
Because you had competition from all around the country.
Yes, so there's 2 teams come from each of the 7 regions. So we had us and another team from St Bede's for Tasman, and then another 2 teams from all the other regions as well.
Harry, where are you from?
So I'm from North Canterbury. I live in Rangiora. My dad, he does a lot of rural building work. My mum's banking, and in holidays I work on a dairy farm out at West Eden.
Yes, so you're passionate about agriculture?
Yes, definitely. Very much involved with a lot of stuff through school and just contacts,
Are you in the same year as John?
Yep, Year 12 at Rangiora High School.
Yes. Yep. Are you boys involved with the Rangiora High School farm?
I'm heavily involved. John to a lesser extent, but still very much involved. So the farm there, they've got about 40 breeding ewes and a fair few cattle, about 50 head or so,
And it's right across the road from the school?
Right across the road. The ag classes are about 100 metres from the farm,
Now, John, getting back to the Junior Young Farmers competition, what sort of things did you do over the 2 days?
So first thing we had on the Thursday, we had a 1 hour long exam we took part in as a pair. And so that covered various topics and things throughout, like different aspects of the industry and that. And then like we had calculations to do on like offering a solution towards a dairy farmer for a certain problem. Then had our opening ceremony for the whole competition after that. And then the second day for us was on the Friday. So we had our practical day, which consisted of a 2.25 hour farmlet, which involved fencing, stock water, riparian planting, lots of stuff like that. We also had to do a 5-minute speech on a given topic. And then after that, we switched over and did 7 modules that were set up by some of the sponsors of the Young Farmer of the Year competition. And so then, had 15 minutes to complete each of them. And did that. And then that wrapped up the practical day for us. And then later that night, we had the prize giving, where the top 5 teams from the exam and the practical day were announced. And then we went into an agri quiz for 5 rounds, and then at the end of the quiz, the scores from everything, the quiz, the modules, the farmlet, the speech, and the exam were combined together, and that's how they did the placings.
Was it quite a close final?
Yes, it was. We were told the top 2 teams, that was us and the Napier girls, there's only 6 points in it out of 400 or 500 odd, so very close.
And Harry, what were the most challenging things you had to do as a team?
There wasn't really anything which we couldn't do, I guess. A lot of things we looked at and we sort of figured out the right way to do them. Like, for example, the water trough was a bit of, a different setup to what we're used to. It had to be linked up to a water supply, and then they pressure tested it and filled it. So no cheating there. If it leaked, and if you didn't put the bung in, well, you sure knew about it. But we were all pretty good in that department.
Do you both have different skill sets?
Yeah, I'd say as a team we complement each other quite well. Like, Harry is very much like dairy side of things as well as more sciencey stuff, where I'd say more like the practical, hands-on stuff is like with the sheep, beef and deer side of things, which is my sort of thing more so than dairy.
Marita, you must be a very proud mum.
Very proud, yes, of both of them.
Were you cheering them on all the way?
We were just but quietly on the sideline, and with Harry's younger sisters there, it was great because they're 4, 10 and 12, aren't they, Harry? Yeah, so really exciting to have them there, and Harry's mum and dad, and we're just super, super proud.
From a parent's point of view, what are some of the key benefits of events like this?
It exposes the children and John and Harry to children, their peers that have the same interests, and I'd have to say that it was just the people that came up to them afterwards, the other teams, the girls from Napier, just really good sportsmanship, lovely young women who will go on to do great things themselves, because they actually competed last year in the grand final and came 3rd. So this year they got 2nd, and the boys did pip them at the post.
Oh my gosh, so close too.
They were so close, but just exposing children and young adults to like-minded people with the same passion.
This is also a good way of bridging that urban-rural divide.
Yes, and that was said often down there, and even one of the adults, his speech was based around that as well, just exposing that, because, there can be negatives from both sides sometimes. And like Harry lives in Rangiora, but so exposed to the agricultural sector, and then John going into town, it's great to see.
Yes. And Harry, tell me a bit about the work you do on a dairy farm.
So it's 2 1,000 cow dairy farms, so 2,000 cows total, and they've got their own support block and everything, so I do a bit of everything out there. And they've got some calf tents to put up on Thursday.
It's all starting.
Yeah.
And John, what do you love about living on a farm?
I just love being able to get outdoors whenever, and just, love doing all sorts of farm work and that. Just like, I can't live in town. Well, I don't know any different, but I don't reckon I could do it, nah.
Yeah, so do you help mum and dad out quite a bit?
Yeah, so help out around here. We've also got a contracting business, so help out with that. I also have a job at a local farm around the road, working on a bull beef operation. So just love getting out there, being hands-on and just, working.
2025 FMG Junior Young Farmers of the Year John Lundy and Harry Parrish from Rangiora High School. You also heard from John's mother Marita. Waikato Bay of Plenty farmer Hugh Jackson took out the title of Young Farmer of the Year.
Now to a story from our archives. Cosmo Kentish Barnes wanted to find out what hard-working farm dogs are worth and who is buying and selling them.
I am at the Mayfield AMP Showgrounds, and this is where a farm dog sale is about to happen. And to find out more, I am with auctioneer Greg Cook from PGG Wrightsons.
It's the 66th annual Ashburton dog sale, sheep and cattle dog sale, which has been moved to Mayfield the last 6 years ago. So it's been held up there since. We're offering today about 45 hunt-away and heading dogs, sheep and cattle dogs, yeah.
Are you expecting a good turnout?
Yeah, no, we always get a pretty good crowd. I'd like to think that we could have 50, 60 registered buyers. There's always good demand for good dogs, so it seems to be less people training them today, so people are prepared to come out and pay good money to buy a good dog.
How far afield are people coming from to attend the auction?
Last couple of years they've come from all over the South Island and the North Island as well. We get quite a few North Island buyers. I don't know whether they've got any coming down this year or not, but in the past years we've had North Island buyers come down as well. We've got dogs down from the North Island today as well, so...
Yes. And are these dogs that have had a lot of experience on farms, or are they younger ones that need to be trained?
Most of them are all trained. We prefer to have the dogs that have been broken in. They range from 1 year old through to 6 or 7 year old, so varying, something to suit everyone really. Someone's prepared to put a bit more work into a younger dog, with there's good experienced dogs available as well. So.
And what sort of price do people pay for dogs like this?
Oh, look, they can range anywhere from $2,000 up to $10,000 or $12,000 for the real top end if there's a really good dog and there's someone here prepared to pay that sort of money. So, but yeah, I think the last couple of years we've averaged around that six odd thousand.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. Yep. But as I say, there's not people training dogs today, so people are prepared to step up and pay for a good, well-trained dog.
And how will people know about a dog's potential?
Well, we give them a display out here. We're working with the sheep. The heading dogs get out and they bring a few sheep out for them to work with. They can show what sort of command they're under. And then the huntaways can do the same, plus also they can give a bit of a demonstration in the yard here. So there's quite a few regular vendors. We always get a few young guys training a few dogs up to sell, but then there's some regular guys that have been selling here for a long time, yeah.
Yes. How long will the auction go on for?
I'd say approximately 2 to 2.5 hours. We give each dog about a 2-minute time to do its thing.
I'm Michael Miller from Darfield. I'm selling 2 dogs because I'm cutting down on my farming. I'm getting too old to chase sheep, and so I've got 2 genuine dogs to sell here today. Queen is 3-year-old and Speck is 3.5. Yes.
And what sort of dogs are they?
They're both heading dogs. That's one here. That's Queen, black and white one.
And she's sitting down, quite relaxed.
Yes, it is.
Wondering what's happening?
Yeah, it is.
What's so special about your dogs?
I think they're good-natured and they work for anyone. They're good paddock dogs. They're well broken in. And it'll take about 2 months, really, before they work for them properly. Yeah, some dogs change over quicker than others. Yes. I think they should sell fairly well.
Do you make sure that they go to a good home?
Most people who buy them here, if they pay good money, they'll look after them. Usually know most people who buy them.
Michael, how long have you been coming here to this sale?
I've been coming here for about 52 years.
Buying and selling?
Yeah, selling mainly, always selling, yes. I've got young ones coming on, and I sell those, the ones that are surplus now, pass them on. And it's always been a good sale.
Yes.
There's some good dogs here today. There are 23 heading dogs and 11 huntaways. Years ago, there used to be 100 dogs here.
Why are there so many less now?
All dairy farms around here now. Yeah, the sheep numbers are down.
And tell me about your farm.
When I was farming up at Peak Hill, Lake Coleridge, high country place. My son's up there now, he runs it now. And I'm on a small place at Darfield.
Have you still got some sheep?
I've only a few sheep now.
Yeah, but you still have that passion for
That's
farming?
Right, yeah, still have that. Yeah, I'm only selling these dogs, so I'm starting to slow down.
Hello.
I'm Dave Clouston, and I'm just here because I've sort of do a bit of dog trialling and have got a fairly good interest in sheep dogs. So just here to see. There's a few dogs here of various bloodlines that I sort of follow and just see how they go. And I don't know if there's one that really takes my eye, I might consider putting a bid in. So there's about 8 I've got in the catalogue that I've just put a wee star behind to see how they go on the day.
Yes, and where do you farm?
I don't. I've just got a lifestyle block, so I'm actually a banker that works for BNZ, and I do, dog trialling's my hobby, and I've always sort of been mucking around with dogs. I'm an ex-musterer and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, basically just a lifestyler with almost as many dogs as sheep.
And so, how much are you prepared to pay?
Oh, I wouldn't. There's only a couple of young dogs here. I wouldn't be going much more than $4,000 probably. But I mean, that's there's the reality is the amount of work that you put on a dog. It's they're worth every bit of that. And I suspect the prices will go all right because there's not a huge gallery of dogs, and there's probably more buyers than sellers. So it'll be interesting to see how they go.
What do you look for in a dog?
Basically, temperament's number one. Nice, steady dog that's just, fairly relaxed, good dark eye, just good conformation, good breeding, and it really comes down to, they might look good against the fence, but it's what they do out in the pen that makes the difference. Yeah.
And talking about out in the pen, it looks like the auction is just about to start.
Yeah. Yep. So I might do a runner and all the best.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
Good on you.
Most of you know the drill here, ladies and gentlemen. We show them the catalogue order. There is a supplementary page for those of you who haven't got it, and there's one extra dog on that you won't have it all, which I'll announce at the end. So I think it's about 46 dogs here in total, okay? 28 is withdrawn. Graham's come down with COVID, and lot 43 has been withdrawn due to the bitch coming on heat, okay? And all you that were very concerned about it and rang me, the pub is open from 12 o'clock today. So lot 1, ladies and gentlemen, is Alan Ferry's entry from Oxford. We've got Boy, who's a 2.5-year-old tri-coloured heading dog, medium-eyed, whistle commands, tight pulling and clean working. A good nature, ladies and gentlemen. So there's Boy just heading out now.
My name's Sue Rucastle and I'm from Dovedale in the Nelson area, and I'm looking for a trained heading dog. I have got a Huntaway at the moment, and she's getting too old.
Are there any dogs here that have caught your eye?
Yes, there's about 3 that I would like to see work on stock. I'm aware of how much the top ones go for, but I don't need a top dog. I want a dog that will just fit in with our lifestyle.
Yes. And if you do buy one today, will you take it home?
Yes, definitely, yes.
How do people pay for their dogs?
We're not a member of Pine Gold Guinness, so we'll pay cash.
If you purchase the dogs, Dave, just meet the vendor at the gate there, and we'll give you an opportunity to get the commands and all that sort of stuff.
David Willens, Westpac Agribusiness. We're here doing the barbecue for the Mayfield dog sale.
Are you raising money for anyone?
Mayfield School. We're supporting the local school to get kids away on camp this year, and so just sausages, bacon sammies, hot soup, hot coffee. Come over and I'll shout you one if you want.
Thank you very much. It's a chilly morning, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's always the way. Middle of July, feels like middle of winter. Yes. Frost with cloud cover on top, and it makes it pretty brutal. But anyway, it's all good. Everyone's here to find a good dog. So,
how often do you come to sales like this?
Reasonably frequently, yeah. So from a Westpac point of view, it's something we can do to help the community. Fundraising for schools, getting out in rural schools, it's really important. Big part of our area are all rurally based clients, and so it's just a little thing we can do.
And from a banking point of view, what is the mood amongst farmers?
Optimistic. So we've got record prices for red meat, we've got record prices for dairy, we've got a strong outlook, we've got a low currency. Clearly there's plenty of challenges with incoming regulation, but look, the farming industry is up for it, and there's some really good positive changes out there. So there's a lot of people making a lot of difference on the ground on how they're running their farms and minimising their environmental impact. We support that 100%, and it's just good to see the industry rising to the challenges, really.
Yes, and I guess that buoyancy could well impact on today's sale.
Yeah, look, it could do. We expect to see some pretty strong sales. I know it was strong last year, and red meat prices have lifted again. You think about the value of a dog to a farming business.
Huge.
Saves a labour unit, and in some cases two. And in this environment, when labour's really hard to get, hard to find good people, the value of a dog is really worthwhile.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. That's Boy, the 2.5-year-old tricolour dog there, medium eye. Whistle commands, ladies and gentlemen. Who tried to make close to what? 3,000 and goes there. 3,000 somewhere, come on. 2.5 surely, come on. I've got 1,500. 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. 1,500. 15 of it, 2,000. 2,000. 2-2 on Bruce's call. 2,002. Out you go, 2,200. We're going to sell him, ladies and gentlemen. He's here for sale. 2.5. Victor's call. How's your man, Bruce? At 2,005. Per half. At 2,500, but in quick. All over. Out you go, 2,500. Buys them, 2,500.
I'm Brian Keenan. I'm here to sell a young heading dog, 40 months old. He doesn't fit in my team very well. He's pretty keen, yes. And I think he thinks he's got 5 names. Every time I try and work another dog, he does it.
Yeah. How many dogs have you got in total?
7. Yeah. If I didn't have any dogs, I'd stop farming. They're more important than me, really.
What's he called?
Clyde.
And what are you hoping to get for Clyde today?
3,000 or 4,000, I guess. I just hope he gets a good home, really, and somebody that appreciates him. Has got the work for him. He just needs the work, really.
How long will a dog like Clyde be able to work on a farm?
If he's on sort of medium country, and he'll get 10 years.
Right, lot 7 coming in there, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Hussey's entry. We've got Bert, who's a 2-year-old heading dog, black and white, well-bred heading dog, ladies and gentlemen. He's hard running and strong pulling. Will make a good work dog. Just needs an experienced hand and a bit more work, ladies and gentlemen. Good distance with him.
Greg Metherell, and I'm from North Otago, Courier.
Tell me about your farm.
We're a hill country place, 3,000 hectares of all hills, so the dogs get plenty of hill experience, so and plenty of distance.
And you've just sold your dog?
Yep. She's very honest, very kind, very easy to dog to work, even though she's got quite a lot of noise and that. The only reason I'm selling her is I just don't see that she's got enough trial potential for what I want her for. But she's a genuine dog.
Mm. Are you happy with the price you got?
I would have expected a bit more for a quality dog like that. 5,000, but she's only 2.5. She's got 6 or 7 years in front of her, so it makes her a pretty cheap dog.
Right, this is Morris Hackmer's entry, ladies and gentlemen. Morris has been a great supporter of the side here over the years. This 3.5-year-old underway bitch, she's fully broken in. Right, we'll take him out in the paddock now.
PGG rights and auctioneer Greg Cook ending that story from the 64th Ashburton Working Dog Sale at the Mayfield A&P Showgrounds. That story recorded in 2022 from our archives.
My name is Hamish Best. I am a sheep farmer and meat retailer from Conscious Valley in Ohariu Valley, currently sitting out on the farm looking out over the Cook Strait. You're listening to Country Life on RNZ National.
Our feature story this week starts in the dining room of a retirement village on the Hibiscus Coast north of Auckland and ends up on a banana farm in rolling hills further inland. As I found out, it's a chain of people, food and compost helping to nourish the soil. It may surprise you to know that diners at this retirement village north of Auckland are helping to grow bananas and fatten cattle a few kilometres away. I'm here with Betsy Kettle, who helped set up the City to Farm project 6 years ago to keep food scraps out of landfill and use them to build fertile soil on farms. Just about to head into the kitchen here at the Evelyn Page Retirement Village, and I'm putting on my hairnet.
So the kitchen here in Evelyn Page is getting ready to put lunch out, so they're very busy right now. But you can see that they have been putting their food scraps into this wheelie bin. And the bottom of the wheelie bin has woody mulch and biochar in it. And those are both important parts of the Prakashi process. And when this bin is full, probably by the end of the day, it'll get sealed up and put down into the basement.
Dylan Hatt is the senior lead chef here.
So it's convenient for us. We like the idea that it's not just going to, just straight to waste, but it's good that someone's using it for something.
What's in there at the moment? Looks like a lot of porridge.
Yeah, bit of porridge, bit of toast. So it'll fill up. That'll be the stuff from breakfast that wasn't used. So it's like sort of wood chips. It'll nullify the smell and the process of it decomposing or whatever.
How often do you have to put those in?
Every day. So we'll cover it every layer once the bin's full, send it down to the garage, and yeah.
So truly not a problem for you guys?
Not a problem. Not a major. No.
City to Farm is diverting 15 tonnes a year of food waste from this retirement village alone. It's one of 25 collection centres providing scraps to the project. Here's Betsy Kettle again.
The food scrap project started when Auckland Council put out a request for proposals for community groups to take on commercial food scraps. And our community group, Hibiscus Coast Zero Waste, put up our hands, not quite knowing what we were going to do. But we did. We got a grant, and then the process was on of how to... Now what do we do? So we approached some other people in our permaculture group, Phil and Jenny Granger, and we said, we know you have bad soil and you want to improve your soil. Do you want to try this? And they said, oh yeah, we'll give it a go, thinking that it was only going to, 6 months and it'd be over, and now 6 years later.
Hi, I'm Jill. I'm the village manager at Evelyn Page. Been here almost 7 years. So it was great to be able to start this project that was seen in the local paper, and one of the residents brought it over to me to have a look at, and took a life of its own from there with the support of Ryman Head Office and the sustainability team. It means that we know our food scraps are going somewhere and they're being used and not just being thrown out. Yeah.
Does it create any extra work for you?
No. The team have got into a really good system, so they have different bins and the different units, so the food scraps in one bin, the paper in the other, and so on. So there's no extra work. It's just it's so routine now. That's just what we do because we've been doing it so long. Yeah.
So do you create a lot of food waste?
Not generally. We have a really good food ordering system where each resident gets to choose their meal, their texture, the size of the meal. So there's not a lot of food waste.
Yeah. But you want waste to give to these guys.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. We don't want to blow our budgets out, but we also want to support. So it is a win-win, but yeah, potentially not as much waste as there was previously.
Okay. One in each ear. One in each mouth.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
Kevin.
Kevin, hi. How long have you been resident here?
8 years.
Do you know much about the initiative here, the food scraps?
I know that they're all collected and turned into compost and used for banana palms, growing bananas.
And what do you think of the idea?
I think it's a darn good idea. Why put it into tips when it can be used, recycled?
Did you compost when you were living in your own place?
Yes, we had our compost bin. Put it on our veggie garden.
The residents have been to see the results too, including Sue Hoy.
Well, we were very lucky to be able to go to the farm and actually see where the food scrap ended up. So it was a wonderful experience for us to realise that the food scraps from here are being reused, so there's no waste.
We leave behind the chatter and the clatter to see where the retirement village's scraps are stored, fermenting over the week until a truck comes to collect them.
Down into the bowels of the building here.
And we're in the room with all the wheelie bins and the big trash compactor. And once upon a time, before the City to Farm project started, this space smelled because all the food scraps were going into that great big compactor over there. and they had problems with flies and odors. And so we said, well, look, come see our system. And this is our system over here with these funny wheelie bins with the seals and the straps on them.
Oh, we've opened the lid. There's a lot of waste in there.
We don't call it waste.
You don't?
No, these are resources. These are valuable on-farm, to-the-farm resources. Because as soon as you call something waste, it is waste. I'm trying to find an empty one here, but see, tomorrow is when the truck comes. And so it's possible we don't have any empty ones at the moment. I wanted to show you how we have a layer of woody mulch and biochar in the bottom. Too bad you can't smell through the microphone. But this would have been full, but then the bokashi process breaks it down, so it settles.
We'll be talking about the bokashi process a little bit later, but I can see in there a mushy heap of fermenting stuff.
It's very gloppy, yes. But if you can imagine, we've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 bins here. And so we divert about 600 kgs a week of food scraps from this village alone.
Diverting food scraps from landfill and putting them back into the land means cutting the amount of methane emitted into the atmosphere. That's a greenhouse gas which contributes to climate change. We're going to see how it's used on farm in a moment, but next stop, a country school, Wainui School, where the project has been part of, well, a movement almost, lately run by 4 dedicated Year 8s.
My name's Ariel. My name's Madison. My name is Morgan. My name is Leah.
Do you have a special name for this team of bokashi makers? You could be the food waste busters. Like the retirement village, they also use the bokashi method, where the food slops are sort of pickled in closed containers with an additive called zing.
We introduced, classroom by classroom, food scrap caddies and a little stand to put the food scrap caddies on that would also take the paper and the hard recyclables, called a resource recovery station, and talk to the children about the link between food scraps in the landfill, greenhouse gases from the landfill, and instead using those food scraps and the biochar to build topsoil, which is a carbon sink instead.
When we started it, we kind of just, we didn't really know what to think of it. We kind of just, did it, and we were sort of ooh. But now we do it, all the time, and we do find it cool. We find it fun. We learn new things all the time.
With masks and gloves on, the girls get into gear. They pick up the small food scrap caddies in each classroom and empty them into a larger bin in the school's recycling hub, an enclosed area to the side of the playground. They tell me this method is an ideal way to recycle the food scraps because it doesn't attract rodents. What have you got there?
We've got some food scraps, so it's a banana peel, 2 apple cores and some mandarin skin.
Is that about normal for what you would collect at this time of day?
Yep, about that.
Oh, not that bad. It kind of good.
Yum! This is a food stamper, so if there's lots and lots of food in the bin that needs to be squashed down a bit, you squash it down with this, like a broom handle with a wooden block on the end.
The school also uses this rich fertiliser in its own vegetable garden, part of its long-running garden-to-table programme. So the more scraps, the better, which means bringing the other school kids into line sometimes.
We remind them what goes in the bokashi bin, what they can and can't put in the bin.
Yeah.
So,
what are they not allowed to put in?
Any liquids such as yogurt, juices, that type of stuff.
No whipped cream.
And no whipped cream, no meat, because the meat can make maggots grow. And it's gross.
And it will attract more rodents.
Yeah, and obviously no rubbish. So we just, if someone does something wrong, we remind them that like that they can't put that stuff in the bin, and we tell them what they can and can't put in the bin so that they know for next time.
What you could do is bring them here and they could smell it. That would really put them off.
That's a good idea.
And now once you've spread the, you've pushed it down a bit and spread it around.
You put the zing in.
There we go. And then we close it.
And then you close it and that's... And lock.
And then you lock it so that the smell doesn't spread and so that it breaks down. Easier.
Straps are going on to hold it tight.
And there we go. And then we take that bin to wash, like we hose it down and then we shake it, and then we put it back in the Bokashi station.
Important for it to be clean?
Yeah. So that it doesn't go bugs and attract rodents and from so that it doesn't go moldy, because that's not very good.
And absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
So should we do this now?
All right.
All right, Mrs. Spray, we need you again.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm ready.
Wait, Ariel, Leah, come back out and we'll take a photo out here with...
Okay.
Nick Watton is the teacher in charge of the project.
Our goal is for our students to be, well, sustainable and environmentally responsible. And I think this, starting with the girls, is a way to sort of embed that in our students and in our culture as a whole. Like they said, I think it's become, over the last 4 years, normal for us. And I think when we see our year zeros from 4 years ago as year eights, it'll probably be fully embedded, because for 8 years they've been a part of this. And I like the idea that we can put some in the garden or some into our growing worm farm, and then some back to Betsy, back to the farm where they can use it to improve their soil as well.
Now to one of the farms where the food scrap fertiliser ends up. 32 hectares on hills a little bit further on from Wainui School. Former dairy and kiwi fruit farmers Phil and Jenny Granger live here off-grid, overlooking their growing banana plantation, which feeds off the food scrap fertiliser. Betsy says the Grangers have been involved from the start with City to Farm, devising systems as it's gotten bigger and bigger.
Suddenly we moved from collecting buckets of food scraps from a few restaurants to needing wheelie bins. And then the trailer wouldn't work to collect the food scraps. Then we needed a truck. So Phil and Jenny were great. They went out and got a truck. And then we couldn't pull the wheelie bins across the paddock. And then it was like, oh, Phil and Jenny came to our rescue again. And they got a fast feeder to put on their tractor. And their tractor was able to take a cubic meter of food scraps all at once and spread it down the swales all at once, and then spread mulch all at once. And of course the swales started soaking in the water, and that was when we saw the real changes.
It's raining and we're under umbrellas. Right, we're just coming through now into the banana grove on your block here. You can see it through. What's in front here? This is your veggie garden?
Oh no, this is veggie. So these are all kumara, we grow all our own veg.
The banana plants grow on berms on the side of ditches, the swales that Betsy was talking about, which capture rainwater.
We live off the land, literally. And so we don't know where the world's heading, and I wanted to leave this thing for our kids, right? Come in here, another COVID, lock the gates. You know, doesn't matter what happens, you've got power, you've got water, you've got food. You can hang out here forever and you'll be fine.
The clay soil, which once repelled water, is now rich and moist and wriggling with worms and organic matter from the food scraps which arrive weekly by the bin load.
Going down forever.
Yes. Worms.
Yeah. Wow. Look at all the worms.
Unfortunately, never stayed. So. Like, when we first came here, there was hardly a worm on the place. Right. Every time you dig into this, you see, you know, and
look
at the topsoil was about virtually non-existent.
And so how are the food scraps applied?
Initially, it was having a car trailer trying to unload these wheelie bins and tipping and mud and stuff, and it was disgusting and terrible. But I had an old ag tractor, and we bought a fast feeder. But of course it was a struggle to get down swales, and we had to have the rows too far apart. So Jenny insisted we buy an orchard tractor. So we've got a nice little New Holland fruit tractor, and we have a fast feeder from Otrahonga with great machines. We go down to what we call the jetty, where it's a big stand for all the wheelie bins.
Yeah, I saw it as I drove on up here.
Yes.
A sea of wheelie bins.
Right, so we've got this sort of docking station. So we actually have a little tail lift truck that goes out and collects the food scraps. So he can just drop his tail lift onto the docking station to run wheelie bins on and off the truck effortlessly. And then we back up the fast feeder to the docking station, and we've got one of these little Simpro bin tippers, wheelie bin tippers, and we just tip the bins of food waste into the fast feeder, and then I rip up the hill and come along here, press the lever, and the chain drives them all out as we run along, and we do a quick rake over to get them relatively flat, and then we go scoot back to the mulch pile, pick up and drop the fast feeder down so it can back into the mulch pile, pick up a load of mulch, and then we can sprinkle it over the top. So it's so easy. And these swales here, which look like at ground level, they've actually had over 1 metre of food scraps put on them.
They sit there and they sort of basically ferment for up to a month, because we only do it basically once a month, don't we? And we're picking up food scraps every week.
So plentiful food scraps mean plenty of bananas.
We had just a few metres, right, of these few bananas here. And then we thought, oh, we've got more pups, we better get bigger. We've got more food scraps, we better get bigger. And we got bigger and bigger, and then we thought, oh my gosh, we've got a commercial size orchard. Now what do we do?
Yeah,
we're going to have to be commercial.
So you were persuaded by Betsy to get involved and prove...
Purely to sequester carbon into the soil. Rather and keep it out of the landfill.
She hadn't thought, okay, what happens at the other end? And it's like, we've actually got something, we've got to do it.
Now we have to become commercial banana growers.
We weren't planning to become commercial banana growers.
When we've had a bit of a flush of bananas, we box them up and we send them back to the early childhood centres who love them. And we sell them to them as the driver's picking up the next week's food. So
It's really cool because these little wee bananas are great, they love them.
The fruit also ends up in Jenny's banana curry.
Oh, this looks good.
We're in the big farm building, around a long table, where a range of people involved in City to Farm are ready for lunch, including Betsy. What is your prime motivation for the whole thing?
I'm trying to address climate change, and I'm trying to encourage everyone that has land that they could turn into a carbon sink. France has something called the 0.4% program, where the entire country, all the rural land, is being encouraged to sequester, to store at least 0.4%, which isn't very much, of carbon per year in their soil. And in doing so, they basically negate all of France's annual emissions. And I look at New Zealand and I think, geez, if we were to really get serious about this and use biochar and do large, start diverting all this organic matter that the city produces onto rural land, we could potentially start reversing climate change. We have to turn off the fossil fuels. We have to stop that. But we also have to get it out of the atmosphere. The farmers would be heroes. They'd be climate heroes.
How big can you see this getting?
Well, it doesn't take very many farms to take a huge amount of food scraps. We could easily divert all of Auckland's food scraps. I think my husband worked out on about 400 hectares. Well, 75,000 tons, half. It's more of the political will, I think, to do that.
How many tons do you think you've collected over the life of the project?
It's not that much, 350 tons. Relative to the huge amount of organic material that a city like Auckland produces, it's a drop in the bucket. It would need to scale up. we have to convince people that they need to keep their food scraps out of the landfill. And we have to convince them to pay because we have to charge. We have to pay our driver and for all the materials. So, but what would really help would be an organic ban to landfill of all organic matter. No more food scraps in the landfill. This is a way for everybody to participate in climate action with their food scraps, just sending them off to the farm.
Betsy Kettle of the City to Farm project run by Hibiscus Coast Zero Waste. Betsy is a trustee of that charity. They pick up waste from schools, kindies, retirement villages, cafes and restaurants in the local area. And there's more information and photos on our website, rnz.co.nz/country or Country Life. Well, that's Country Life for this week. Before we go, a quick reminder of how to get in touch. You can email us at country@rnz.co.nz.
Have a go at listening via podcast too. Follow and listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or any podcast app.
It's been great to have your company. The stories this week were produced by Cosmo Kentish Barnes and me, Sally Round.
In the studio production team, William Saunders, Mark Chesterman and David Knowles.
Ka kite anō.
Bye for now.